I'd like to welcome everyone here today to another one of our discussions here for BizzTalk's Game Biz Latin. And what we have today is a nice treat. We're going to be doing an Ask Me Anything session with Eliana Russi.
Not everything.
Maybe not everything, but anything, right? Maybe.
Yeah.
And Eliana comes from us. She's a business executive at Brazil Games and an executive director at Big Digital. And we're really excited to have her here. She's going to start this off. She's going to introduce herself, and she has a few things she's going to share with the audience. And then as soon as she's done, we're going to open it up. And essentially, it's really any questions that you have for her. And I'll do my best to get to as many as I can. I'm Jason Schuster. I'm going to be the host today. I'm a partner here at BizzTalk, and I'm just really glad to be here and to learn. And then last thing before we get started, just another special thanks to our sponsor for this event, Bo Compra, and to our event partners, Crazy Labs, Right Zero, and Serendipity Marketing. So Eliana, introduce yourself, tell us who you are, and would love to hear what you have to say to get us started.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. Thank you for Game Biz Latin for inviting me. I'm really happy to share a bit about Brazil. For most people, it's a new territory to explore. As Jason said, I run the Brazilian Game Developers Association. It's called Brazil Games. And part of my job is also to be the director of content of Big Festival, which is the major hub for business in Latin America. I prepared you a presentation. I'm going to share my screen. Hold on just a second. Host, disable participant, sharing.
Yeah, give us just a second here, and,
okay.
And I'll have Dirk give you
permission.
Privileges
okay.
to do that. Yeah. Should be done. All right. Perfect. Try now.
Yes, that's true.
All right. Perfect.
Yeah, you can see my screen?
I sure can.
Okay, so the title of my presentation is to show you Brazil as a new super territory for game development, a great market to invest and publish your game. So I'm going to move here. Hold on. So this is me, my contacts. I just introduced myself, but if you want to pop me on by email or LinkedIn, please feel free. So this is Brazil. It is a gorgeous place to live, very beautiful, as you can see. But it's not all about beauty that I want to show you. It's about technology and how our society play games. How do we interact on social media? So this is the Brazil I also want to show you. So again, my pitch to you is that by the end of this presentation, I have convinced you to include Brazil on your growth strategy. So I'm going to split this presentation in two halves. The first half, I'm going to talk about publishing your game in Brazil. And on the second half, finding a partner to develop, invest, or open your business here. So Brazil is a big country. We're going to talk about 210 million people. It's the world's 6th largest population, 9th largest economy, 5th largest territory. And nowadays we have 228 million mobile lines. And we are in South America. Sometimes it's confusing, people don't know where we are. So we are this big country in the middle of South America. We are the second largest game market in Latin America. Mexico comes first, but I don't consider Mexico as part of South America. I think they're more Americans, but anyway, so we would be number one. And our capital is Brasilia. It's in the middle of country. I think, I don't know, depending, you might recall that there was nothing there during the 1960s. and a crazy president decided that he was going to build the capital of the country there. So it was opening the jungle and everything, but that's nothing to do with game industry, it's just a curiosity. But well, the main city is São Paulo, where I'm based, and our time zone is GM3-3. So it's not a very bad time zone if you compare with other countries like China or India. Like Brazil is reasonable in terms of communication on the same time zone. So this is important. We are the 13th largest gaming market in the world. Brazilians love to play. Brazilians love social media. And so there's a lot of space to grow. Today, 220, we have 87 million people playing games. And by 2024, the projection is to have 149 million people playing games. Well, the annual growth rate is also very impressive. It's 13.5 annual growth rate. The rest of the world is, before the pandemic, it was about 7.7, 8% a year. And this 13.5 is also before the COVID-19 pandemic. So it might be a little higher, but it's very impressive. It's a market with lots of potential. And I'm talking here not only about Brazil, but the entire Latin America continent. The online population today, not the ones playing game, but who is online, is 250 million. And Brazilians do spend when they are playing games. 83% of gamers purchase in-game or virtual goods in games in Brazil. So, and piracy is not a problem anymore. It used to be a case to consider, but it's changed drastically. So one other very positive characteristic of our market, if you were coming from a European country with old population and everything, is that the market is really young. 32 years old is the average age of a smartphone user. So the people that are buying smartphones are on this rank, 30 years old. And the market is also very huge. We are 42% of all e-commerce in Latin America. And of course, games is one of the items that are crushing the e-commerce sales. Just to give you a comparison, I think everybody is watching all the discussion about TikTok in the US. Brazil itself was responsible for 10% of all TikTok downloads in January. That was in January. So after that, it even grew faster. Well, and here are some tips to launch your game in Brazil. So I put here 2 flags. One is Brazil, the green and yellow, and the other is Portugal. Just to tell you that we don't speak Portuguese from Portugal. It's a completely different language. And so try to find a localizer service provider that, of course, understand that. Also for the rest of the continent, we are the only ones that speak Portuguese here in the continent. The rest of the continent speaks Spanish, but even the Spanish they speak is not the same Spanish that you can find in Spain or in Argentina. There are differences. So when you localize your game, pay attention to that you're focusing on the right market with the right language. And only 5% of Brazilians speak a second language. So that is very important that your game is in Portuguese from Brazil. Here is very interesting for you to know. We are a very multicultural country, population, society, and for a very, very long time. We are not, of course, there is still flows of immigrants to Brazil, recent flows, but our immigration flows are very old. Like they started on the last century. Even before that, with the Italians, Spanish, and Portuguese, we were a colony of Portugal. So it's a very interesting mix of colors, of people, of languages. So there's a unique blend in Brazil with great music, great flavors, the cuisine, hospitality that were very famous. And I think there is a new way to tell, a new twist on developing games out of all this pot of cultures together. So it's interesting, not only as a market to approach, publish your game with all these nuances, but also as a developer that we have roots that are very, very, very multicultural. Wow, this is, I put a soccer game. We love football, and then I'm going to comment on that. But understand the dates to launch your game. The school here is upside down, the calendar. Our school year starts on February, not in September. So if you have a very good localizer partner, of course, he will know all that. Of course, if the school calendar is different, holidays and promotions are also different. We have Children's Day on a different day. We have Father's Day on a different day. So also, again, understand the market. Summer is from December to March. So again, we are inverted to the Northern Hemisphere. And as I just said, we love music, dance, esports, Formula One races, and soccer. And this is, I put a photo because this is a shame that we get very upset when people say that we lost 7-1 to Germany in the 2014 FIFA World Cup. So never mention that. That's a very good tip. It's something that we can't understand. But anyway, and everybody loves soccer here, football, women, children. So. And find a partner. This is my main advice is when you're going through to a new territory, it could be Brazil or whatever, find a local partner. Well, here's my advice. And now, good news, we have a unicorn. It's called Wildlife. It's a mobile developer company in São Paulo, Brazil. It's valued on $3 billion as of January, a month before. So there's a lot of attention towards Brazil now that the industry found out that we do have game development here. It's not about a market, it's market and development. So Wildlife, our unicorn, is one of the 10 most valuable game startups in the world. So I put a graphic here with the top 10, and Wildlife is there with $3 billion. So what we do and who we are. I'm talking on behalf of the Brazilian Game Developers Association, Brazil Games. And at the association, we are 122 studios and companies doing a bit of everything. We don't have any big publishers, AAA studios. We are 100% independent companies in Brazil, studios, and they are not big. There are maybe a dozen studios. There are about 100 people, but let's say the average studio is about 30 to 50 people in Brazil. Of course, I'm talking about the studios that are part of our organization, but Brazil itself has about 300 game studios. Some of them very small and still informal. They're actually a person developing a game with a partner, but that's how the environment is setting up now. So no AAA publishers, no great big studios, just the independent, and of course the unicorn that I just showed. So the development hubs are spread out all over the country. So there's people doing games from very, very north to the down south. And it's a big country, as I mentioned, it's very big, the 5th largest country in the world. So let's consider the industry as a whole, about 300 studios and companies. So we are doing our homework. We have an international project called Brazil Games, which is a partnership with the Brazilian Trade and Promotion Agency, Apex Brazil. You can see the logo there. This agency, of course, promotes several sectors of the economy in Brazil, to do business internationally. So we are part of those efforts. So we have a government partnership, and we are doing our homework. As you can see, we grew 600% in terms of international revenues in the past 7 years. And the number of studios that are doing business internationally from 12 to 122. This is part of my job to build up the strategy and all the tactic plans to be more effective on international markets. We understand that the game business is global, so we don't encourage our studios to develop only for the region, but to develop for the international markets too. So the opportunities in Brazil, you can, as a market, expand the base of gamers of your titles, invest on Brazilian companies and games, publish Brazilian games globally. As I said, there is not a pub. We have Level Up here as publishing games, but and another one that's called Nuvem, but that's what we have. And team up with new and fresh ideas. I think it's also very interesting to learn what we are doing, how we are doing things. Creativity is our DNA. I don't know if everybody is aware of Cannes Lion Festival of Creativity in Cannes, and Brazil always gets out of Cannes with many trophies. Like we have many awards. So I believe there is a DNA for creativity that is intrinsic in our DNA. So money-wise, well, this is a very good opportunity to do business here. Just a second, please. Our currency is devaluated. So if you're talking US dollars, it's 5.7 real, our currency per dollar. And if you're talking euro, it's 6.2 real per euro. Everything is much cheaper than Europe, Asia, and North America. Cost of living, cost of hiring. But we have great teams, and people are one of our major assets. So it's just an important moment if you are interested to invest. Like, your money means a lot nowadays in Brazil. That might change a little bit, but it's never going to be, I believe it. I haven't seen in my life a balance like 1 real is equal to $1. We are always low, and the euro also. So analyze that. What is trending here in Brazil is everything that is in game, any activation, any promotion or marketing that you do inside the game is really attractive to Brazilians. Avakin, they had in-game music concert that had 2.7 million viewers. So live performance by artists are trending here. Brazilians love digital interaction. I think it even grew more during the pandemic. So people use the games not only for the fun of playing games, but also to socialize. They connect, they date, they make new friends, they decide things using the game network. And this is very strong in Brazil. Brazilians are very social people. The society is keen for everything that is new. So if you want to have a game doing its best performance here in Brazil, consider that it has to be space for social interaction. So, well, other opportunities here, live transmission of large esports scale events. This is something that, of course, esports is booming everywhere. Just showing you that in Brazil is the same. This is a League of Legends finals in Rio de Janeiro, 300,000 simultaneous viewers. It's a lot of people. And how do you meet with Brazil, right? We connect at the major events with the goal to support our industry to do global business. So it's part of our job also to organize the Brazilian delegations to those markets. GDC, of course, is our main hub for business. We had 49 companies, studios on our delegation for this March, 130 professionals. So we were already suitcase packed, tickets bought, and when they canceled the event, but just to have an idea of the size of our group, it's becoming more and more strong and impressive. Also, not only the number of professionals attending events and bringing their projects, but the quality of the games that we are delivering. So this is GDC. At Gamescom, we usually attend, we are new at Gamescom. It would be our third year as a country delegation. We attended last year with 32 companies, and we had a booth and everything. So about 60 professionals. And also, well, these are the other events we attend: Kids Screen, PAX. We are going now to External Development Summit, which is the end of October. It's in Vancouver. It's about external development opportunities with the big AAAs. We are doing a good job there too. Tokyo Game Show. We are new on the event. That would be our second year. And Big Festival, which is the event that we invite the world to Brazil. It's a must attend if you want to do business in Brazil and Latin America, because, as I mentioned, it's a vast and big territory. Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Argentina, and Uruguay, they all meet at big festivals. So if you want to do business in Latin America, it's one stop. There is a day, well, this year we had to do it digitally. It was also successful, but very different. But there is a date for next year. We hopefully will have the vaccine on time or in time for that. But it's May 5 to 9. We usually have budget to invite publishers, decision makers, and investors to Brazil. We bring about 50 professionals of this caliber every year. So it has been probably more than 600 top-notch professionals attended and part of the big festival network already. And they really enjoy. We have always very good reviews, and people like to come. So it's the most important B2C and B2B event. It's also a festival. It's not only a matchmaking. And let me put another slide. These are some of the numbers of this year, that we were challenged by the unpredictable scenario of the COVID-19. So we had to migrate big to big digital in a very short notice, and it was in June. So we delivered. We are very strong on delivering content, because we think it's our core business, and we should train and give to the Brazilian community the best in terms of content. So all content is free. The only thing that is paid is the one-on-one meetings. It's a barrier for people to only to avoid that non-professional studios attend the matchmaking. But we do generate a lot of money for the studio. So this 3 days of matchmaking generated $33 million for the Brazilian studio. So it's very important. And we delivered 20 hours of content, live content. We were crazy enough to do it live, and with simultaneous translation. So it's a challenge that we learned a lot. So this was this year. Let me show. I have a video here. I'll show you just. hold on. Okay, next slide. These are some of the testimonials of people that have came. But the video you saw, just to make clear, is about the 2019 edition, of course, because we didn't have a presential edition in 2020. So I showed the year before. And just I'm just trying to emphasize the importance of this event because it's free. So it's also a competition that attracts more than 500 submissions of independent games per year. We have around 35, sometimes 40 countries, different countries, indie developers applying with their games, submissions. That is also free. And we do, like, we have the awards. We award the game by best narrative, best gameplay. Like, there are several categories, and also, of course, serious games like impact games. So it's just to emphasize that it's part of the work of building a stronger ecosystem in Brazil. Well, let's play Brazilian video games. So again, I'm gonna suggest that you find a partner. But I'm going to show you some of the videos, some of the games that were developed in 2019 and 20, so you can have just a feeling that what we do here. Hold on.
Fantastic. And Eliana, just to let you know, there is a chance that the audio may not come through on the Zoom call. Yeah, on the video at least.
What?
Does that make sense?
Didn't hear what you say.
Oh, I said there's a chance that the audio is not coming through on these videos. So if they're audio on these
there is videos, audio.
Yeah, I don't think it's coming through, and I think that's a Zoom issue. Just the way that Zoom does this. So if there's, if the audio is really important, you may need to kind of talk the audience through some of these videos.
Well, for me, the audio is so loud that I think it's difficult. I think we can skip that. Good to know. It worked, but it's not working. Okay.
I'll tell you what we could do for the audience. If you have any links on YouTube to these games, maybe drop them in the chat, and the audience can go check them out after the call. That'd be great.
Very good. Very good. So I'll go through the games using the slides.
Okay.
Well, this is some of the games that I'm going to showcase. There are three outstanding games that are not recent but still worth mentioning. It's Horizon Chase by Aquiris, a multi-platform racing game inspired by the great hits of the 80s and 90s, like Outrun, Lotus Turbo Challenge, and Top Gear. And the mobile version was selected for Apple's bestsellers of 2015. For us, was the first heat. 2015 was the first heat where we could clearly see a Brazilian game on everywhere. Like, we were at GDC, and the iPads at the Apple Store all had Horizon Chase Turbo, so we were very proud. Then we had Dandara, that was selected one of the top 10 best games in 2018 by Time magazine. And then we have Behold Studio with Out of Space, strategy co-op online multi-platform game, who won, well, it's about living on a spaceship with your roommates. It won 3 categories of Indigo Design Awards, and well, many awards after that. Just trying to illustrate a little bit what we produce here. We are getting good on external development. Over the past 5 years, we have been acquiring expertise to work with big AAA studios. There are some outstanding cases. For example, Garage 227 is a studio from São Paulo. They work on bringing the game Among the Sleep to Nintendo Switch. During the porting process, the company was responsible for the game optimization, engine, and art assets. Manifesto, another company, developed and co-produced and operated games in partnership with Ubisoft, Bandai Namco, Gambit, DNA, Leader Entertainment, and also with Mighty Play for Disney, SeaWorld and Zynga. So you see Mickey Mouse. The other company that I want to showcase is Coco, is one of the largest Brazilian specialized studio in external development, providing service of CODA, full dev, and 3D art for mobile consoles and PC. It's known for its work on several titles such as Horizon Zero Dawn, Sniper Ghost Warrior, Contracts, Angry Birds Movie 2 VR, and other triple ways. So just to show you a little bit of what we're doing in this area. Immersive Realities, I brought here a studio called Arvore from São Paulo. It's just one of their products called The Line. It's a full body VR interactive narrative about the fear of change. It won the best immersive experience of Venice Festival. It was the first outstanding award. And just last week or the week before, they won the Primetime Emmy for Outstanding Innovation in Interactive Programming. So it is really becoming outstanding that our capacity to produce VR. And they also have, not also, but it's called Pixel Ripped, a franchise. It's a virtual reality love letter to classic game. It won awards all over the world, Japan, Portugal, Brazil, and has excellent reviews. And also is released for PS4 now this year. So it's another outstanding game from this studio called Arvore. Of course, there are more VR studios in Brazil, but I just want to show those two. And this is how we work with brands. Hermit Crab Studio just launched the mobile game celebrating the 50 years of Paris Saint-Germain game. And it was really successful, and is now they're getting ready to launch Arsenal's official games. And there's another European football team that they will launch. It's a secret still. So just to show you. Games with, these are games with a real Brazilian twist. Arida from Aoka Studio. We can see it's the main character is very Brazilian. It's a survival adventure story set up in the Brazilian backlands. And Aritana and the Twin Masks. It's about Brazilian mythology. So, games for Nintendo Switch. Nintendo consoles were not available in Brazil. It was announced now in June that Nintendo is now selling the consoles here. So we already have games for Nintendo Switch. So Double Dash and Relic Hunters. The Relic Hunters Zero Remix with over 1 million players on Steam. We are also working with IPs that are animation series that become games, and games that can become animation series. For example, Starlit Adventures from the Brazilian studio Rockhead has partnered with Canada's Sardine, a production company, to make an animation series. So the IP was originally a game IP from Brazil, and now it's becoming animation series for television. So, and the 4 games of the Starlit franchise already have, it is probably more than 50 million players as we speak. This number was before the pandemic. So we also have Relic Hunter. This is a partnership in Brazil. So we found the partner for the series here. And so that's what we're doing. We're attending an event that is not for game developers. It's called Kid Screen in Miami. It's for children content. So that's where we are exploring partners to expand the franchise, not only on games, but beyond games. We do develop serious games. So we have, this is VR Monkey, it's a VR company. So these guys, they are developing solutions for industrial simulators, and it's interesting, mention that. And games for kids. This has nothing to do with the other slide, but of course we have studios that are specialized on kids content. This is Webcore games, and the other one is Push Start. They're both very, very well known and respected here in Brazil. Webcore, in fact, was selected for the Global Indie Games Accelerator in Singapore, and was featured at the IGN Southeast Asia. So it is a very, very interesting. It's called Timo the game. And Wow Animals from Push Start is a multi-platform project that it's starting its way up. We also do games for museums. I think this is the same company that I mentioned before, VR Monkeys. This is an expo in a museum where you can explore through virtual reality other areas, eras, not areas, eras of the earth. So you can go as deeper as the dinosaurs in Brazil. This is another company that I like very much. It's Mad Room. It's a studio from São Paulo, VR studio from São Paulo. They developed, very interesting, they developed the first complete human body in VR. This is being used by hospitals and licensed all over the world for training doctors, training medical school. So it's really interesting. They are all game developers. You go to the studio and you don't believe that they could do something so serious, but they are very, very game developers. I said, oh, this is not a game development studio. Oh yes, it is, but they are doing serious game. And this is another thing that is being developed, a very first automated and scalable visual screening system for children. Well, we have been on the international game outlets, so we are doing our best also to be known internationally. And this is one article from Tech Raptor. I think it's from September, yeah, maybe, saying that Brazil has a unique opportunity, not being one of the world's top tier game industry areas. It says, quoting, since Brazil has a lot of small studios and is collectively trying to expand their image on the world stage, there is more camaraderie among them than competition. So we are very likable people and we love to do business. So this is the end of my presentation, and I'm gonna close let's see, how do I do that now?
It's okay. I think at the bottom or near the top, there should be something that says stop share, something like that.
Yeah, I'm trying. Stop share.
There we go. Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much, Eliana. That was, I didn't actually realize how involved the Brazilian market was. It's pretty cool. Thanks for sharing that. So we have only just a few minutes, so I'm going to try and get to, we have a couple of questions, and then I think if we don't have any others, I have a couple myself. But Antoine asked, what is the average spending of a Brazilian gamer per transaction? So if that's something that you know. Okay.
I don't know, but I can ask and get back to Antoine.
Okay. Perfect.
But I think 30 reais, I don't know if that is an average. Um, Maybe it's about $5, could be, but I have to check.
Okay, excellent. And his second question from Antoine was, is Twitch still the most popular streaming platform for Brazilian players and esports, or is
Yes.
that is there like a Brazilian
No,
streaming service?
we don't have a Brazilian stream service
Okay,
competing with Twitch.
excellent. So Twitch is still king then. And we have another one from Jean Paul. What is the average internet speed in large cities? That's a good one.
Well, the internet is pretty well. I'm talking about large cities like São Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, Brazilian, the capitals. The internet, I wouldn't say a number because I'm not, I really don't know, but the internet works really fine. It's not a problem anymore.
That's
Big
excellent.
cities, big cities.
Big cities, that's right.
Brazil
And
is
I'm
a
sure I would say 5G will probably also make a big impact when that rolls out for as far as internet speed. All right, excellent. We got one from Dirk as well. In Brazil, social connections are extremely important. Do international companies, or should that international companies consider how to modify a game for growth or to grow its community to enhance these social experiences?
I believe so. I believe so. I think you should have a partner that understands the demographic of the group that you wanna grow, and see what are the trends. But they really spend more money when they interact and when they find the same stimulus that you have in the game, the music, the concert, whatever. They find it on real life. So it's happening in Brazil like that. Your growth goes up once you give interactions in the real world and local content, right? It has to be local connections. No, it doesn't really work if you don't find the same singer, the same band. That's it.
That's it. Okay, excellent. We've still got about 4 minutes here before we've got to hop off and get ready for the next one here. I actually have my own question. So
don't make it hard. You
two.
promised.
I promised. I have two actually. So
oh no.
The first one is should be. I think this is not so bad. So let's say I'm a game developer and I want to enter the Brazilian market. Who is the first company I should reach out to and start talking about partnerships with? Who's going to help me navigate this?
Talk with me, like send us a message and we will help you making the right connections, introducing you to big festival matchmaking, referring you to events like this one where we have a talk. So talk to us.
Okay. That's good. And then best way to reach out to you guys, just LinkedIn or email or
best way is
website?
Email. Email. But I of course, everything else works out too.
Perfect. All right. Second question. So what kinds of games are having the best response with Brazilian players? Is it mobile, console, or adventure, or first-person shooters? I mean, if that's data that you have, what kind of games are really
playing a lot of Free Fire, a lot of PUBG.
Okay.
And what is trending, as I mentioned, is games that have a space for social interaction. And never forget that the balance of console, PC, and mobile was kind of 30% of each, but the mobile is gonna expand much faster in Brazil because sometimes, most of the time, it's the only device that part of the population has access to. Like we have a social economic problem here. We are not a full developed country, so you cannot expect that every Brazilian has a console or has a computer at home. So they will play using mobile. So I would say mobile is the easiest way to reach the entire gamer.
Excellent. So that means that, I mean, especially developers, independent developers that are outside of Brazil, if their focus is mobile games, they have to think about Brazil. They have to
Yes.
consider
Yeah,
Brazil for that market.
yeah. I not only mobile, we have like 30% of population that has games or play consoles or on computer, but it's not affordable for part of the population to have those devices, and they're very expensive in Brazil. Unfortunately, we have a lot of income taxes on top of the price of the device, so it doesn't cost $500 in Brazil to have a PS or whatever. It costs double of that, so it's one more restriction to, yeah.
Wow, yeah, that puts it in perspective. So excellent. Those are my questions. It doesn't look like we have any more from the audience, and we have about 1 minute left. So I would say, Eliana, any just closing thoughts you want to leave with the audience? You know,
Just pay attention. Let's meet everywhere it's possible in the upcoming events, and super welcome to attend big festival next May. I hope presentially, and if not digitally. And let's talk. Like I think it's a two-way route to do business. We have to know each other. So it will be a pleasure to be your host in Brazil.
fantastic, awesome. Eliana, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for your presentation and educating us on the Brazilian market. And yeah, we'd love to have you back again sometime, and vice versa. Love to
Okay.
work with you on the other end. So awesome. Have a wonderful day, and
You too.
we'll see you later.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Thank you. Take care, everyone. Have a good one.